There goes that man's jock strap.
Oh my God, did you see that?
America's team? Yeah, right.
Oh, baby, it's a big day in sports. There's nothing like battling it out with your teammates all season long to go win a championship. Green Bay's got it this year. Huge move for them. I think it's going to be a game changer.
We have a lot to talk about this busy week in the sports world. Welcome to the In a League of Their Own podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's NBA segment. Kind of diving into it right away here. One of the trending things, obviously, it's always trending when somebody does something on the court that makes them miss time. There's the people who say he deserves more, he deserves less. There's always two sides to the coin. In this case, kind of hits close to home to us with our Milwaukee Bucks. Grayson Allen served a one-game suspension in last night's loss to the Cavs. He will rejoin them in their game against New York on Friday. He received a flagrant 2 foul during the game. Basically, Alex Caruso was making a play to the basket. He went up, obviously bang, bang play. When you slow it down in slow motion, go frame by frame, it looks really bad. But these are full-grown-ass men playing physical basketball, so you play it in real time. It's just looks like contact at the rim. Nonetheless, Alex Caruso out 6 to 8 weeks, fractured wrist, just got surgery done on it. Kind of one of the things that I've seen, and I'll kind of pick your brain at it with it here to see what you kind of think about it. There was one, I can't remember what the name of the podcast was. I can picture her face, so I can't remember her name. She's basically hasn't liked Grayson Allen since his time at Duke, hasn't liked him as a player, yada, yada, yada. Said that he deserves, and I mean, really for any player going forward, if you knock a player out with an injury for X amount of time, that your suspension should last however long that person is off the court with their injury. Does that seem really extreme to you? Because to me, it kind of does. What's your kind of take on that?
Yeah, that absolutely seems bonkers that's even thought of. Like, I get, like, the only case that I could see somebody, no, I take that back. Even if you were to physically hurt somebody on purpose and it's part of the game, you sign up for it, you're getting paid money to do it. You're fully aware of the risks every time that you're out there that could happen. I feel like, no, I feel like what is the longest, like, suspension, I guess, what is the longest suspension in the NBA?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure that every case is different. I've seen 1 game, I've seen 2 games. I think I've seen up to 4 games. I don't think there's really like like if you fall into this tier, you get suspended for this long kind of thing.
So the longest one is 68 games. Latrell Sprewell. Don't even remember what he did. Oh, just kidding. Ron Artest, 86, when he fought the fan in the stands. What's the name of it? Malice at the Palace? No. Yeah. Was it Malice at the Palace?
Yeah.
Where the full-on fight and you went up into the... Yeah. 86 games. Obviously, that's fighting people, causing assault charges, could get arrested.
Yeah.
That's not playing a basketball game, physical or competitive. I feel like max, if you could prove that somebody did it like literally on purpose, I guess you can maybe give them like a 5-game suspension. But 6 to 8 weeks, the length of the injury, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. And kind of we were talking about this last night. You brought up a good point too. You make contact with a guy, he tears his ACL, he's out for a full year. So now what? You have to sit out a full year because you caused that injury.
Accidentally pushed the guy in the back and he fucking tore both of his knees. Like, how is that my fault?
Yeah. Or even what that happened earlier this year was Nikola Jokic and I think it was Markieff Morris. Is Marcus and Markieff?
Yeah, when he pushed him in the back and shoved him down.
He's still missed time. I think when I look at the injury report, it says whiplash next to his name, and he's still out now and then. So so applying this to that case, Nikola Jokic would not have stepped on the court since then. Imagine that Nuggets team without Nikola Jokic, they'd be not even a sniff in the in the top. I don't know where they are. I know they're in a playoff position, but yeah, they wouldn't be the same team without him. Yeah, I mean, I remember Grayson Allen cut like handful of times at Duke where he was that gritty guy, kind of like cheap shots now and then. So they're trying to bring that back up and say, oh, because he has this track record. This is his first instance in the NBA that I think that I can recall. And I mean, again, whether it's intentional or not, obviously he's going to deny that it was intentional till the day he dies, or at least until he's done when it doesn't matter anymore. But again, you can't prove that like professional sports are such a fast-paced thing. I don't know. I'm in your boat as far as it being way out there of all these guys should sit out for however long they put the other person out with their injury. That's just unreal. That's because of the case. Like, where do you draw the line of a guy has a career-ending injury by your hands? So what? You have to hang up your career then? Like, that just makes no sense.
Yeah. And technically the longest suspension, not cause, was OJ Mayo from the Bucks. 164 games.
For what?
Trying to find it.
That's 2 seasons.
Trying to find it. 1 second.
OJ Mayo. Why does that name sound familiar? Like, as soon as you say it, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I forgot he did that.
PEDs.
Oh.
He got suspended in 2011 for 10 games after he tested positive. That's your first strike. July 1st, 2016. Got popped again. 2 years sus. That makes sense.
Yeah.
He's eligible to apply for reinstatement in 2 years.
I feel like he's old by this point, though.
Yeah, he was born in 87.
So he'd be
34.
Yeah. So he'd be 36 when he can come back.
Looks like he's been playing over in China. He's been playing in the Pro League over in China for the Owning Flying Leopards. That's what team he was on last year.
Huh.
Present UNICS. Let me find out. Czech. He's in the Czech League. Crvena Zvezda is the team name. Crvena Zvezda. Crvena Zvezda. But yeah, that's where he's playing at right now. And then sticking with the Bucks here, Giannis and Steph right now both have plus, I think it was 380 odds to win MVP. Who do you think is the most deserving of winning that award?
I think it should be Giannis, just because he's been the most even keel all season. Durant was in the conversation. He's out with his MCL sprain, missing time. Had 40, 50 point games now and then, but didn't do that consistently every night. Curry started out the season on a high, Warriors offense, best offense in the league at one point. And then he goes cold. Giannis, you know what you're going to get out of Giannis every night. A double-double, triple-double, 20 to 35 points. He's one of the most consistent guys. And again, definition of MVP, most valuable player to your team. The Warriors have won games without Curry. The Nets have won games without Durant. Can the Bucks win games without Giannis?
And I guess a player that I forgot who has even better, Joel Embiid actually has the best odds.
Oh, really?
He's plus 275. Giannis is plus 3, Steph plus 4, and Nikola Jokic is plus 4. Then the next closest is John Morant at plus 1,600. And that's as of yesterday's odds.
Yeah, I forgot Embiid. Well, because the 76ers
So did I.
They're having kind of a quiet season as far as,
and without Ben Simmons, obviously being there in the lineup.
Yeah.
I feel like the 76ers were at the bottom in the beginning. Like they sucked.
Yeah.
And they've been coming along.
Right now they're in the 6th spot, which 6 as far as a decent ways away from 1. But as you're talking about how close it is, they're only 2.5 games back. They've won 7. They're on a 2-game win streak, 7 of their last 10, which is better than the Bucks, Nets, 76 or Cavaliers and Bulls as far as the stretch of the last 10 games. So I forgot about him. And again, definition of MVP, they don't have Ben Simmons. You take Joel Embiid out of that equation, they're irrelevant.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that. I totally forgot that he was even in there because of obviously where we live, a lot of the Bucks media is what we hear. ESPN major news sites only cover the real top teams. 76ers are a quiet, not really talked about team at all. And then you go and look and say, yeah, definitely you take him off that squad and they're dead last.
Yeah.
So, Joel Embiid definitely, I would say.
You mentioned Steph and Giannis. I almost removed Steph from the conversation at this point. And it's between Embiid. I mean, the odds are Embiid, Giannis, and then Steph. And like I said, Klay's back. They're going to get Draymond back. Eventually, they're going to get James Wiseman back. Like, they got a lot of guys that are going to take the ball out of Steph's hands. If you're the 76ers and the Bucks, you can't take the ball out of Giannis's or Embiid's hands. You need their production night after night. So I think it's going to be one of them too. A dark horse to watch, though. And again, we talked about them, and as soon as you talked about them, they went on their huge run. The Grizzlies, John Morant. If Morant can, like a month ago, dude was playing unbelievable basketball. If he can kind of get back to that, I think he inserts himself into this conversation as well, especially if they can continue to climb the ranks in the West.
Yeah, he's in that 5th spot at plus 1,600. And I guess a couple of people on the outside still who aren't the longest odds. DeMar DeRozan, LeBron James at plus 3,000, KD plus 4, D-Book plus 7,000. Obviously, Suns are more of a collective team. There's not really an MVP. You could take anybody off that team, and they're still going to function just as well. But LeBron, though, I feel like if he can continue to do what he's doing this year, this late in his career, if he gets them into the postseason, I think he's the MVP. That's my dark horse. LeBron.
But they gotta make it there first. I mean,
yep. It's not going to be easy.
They're sitting in that 9th spot right now.
Incredible.
They're sitting in that 9th spot right now, which would put them in the play-in.
And they play 76ers tonight, I believe. Yep, at 6:30.
And then a team that's right on their heels, kind of making a comeback. Portland Trailblazers. After kind of being dead in the water They're starting to come back a little bit here. They sit in that 10th spot. And then the Pelicans who sat dead last at one point, they're only a game and a half out of the play-in tournament. They're starting to make a comeback, and they have yet to get
Zion.
Yeah, they have yet to get Zion back. So, I mean, Portland and New Orleans are the two teams right behind the Lakers that could knock them out of the play-in and out of the playoffs. And both are starting to kind of figure their shit out, get healthy, things like that. Yeah, and the teams ahead of the Lakers, Clippers, Minnesota, the two teams that they'd have to worry about in the play-in. Clippers, Paul George, when he gets back healthy, when they get Kawhi back, and then Minnesota, a team that pushes the pace really well.
Anthony Towns, dude.
Yeah, and then Anthony Edwards, they're a team that one of the fastest paced teams in the league. They shoot the three ball really well. Yeah.
And they're good.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with them.
And then a shocking team that's up in the top to me is Dallas. The Mavs.
Yeah. Well, it's just because of their defense. Their offense, only 105 points a game. That's not good. But their defense only gives up 103. So you keep that plus minus in the green, you're always going to be a relevant team in the NBA. But yeah, it's their defense that's held them in games, with the exception of 2 games ago when the Warriors kind of had their we're back game. They lost 130-92.
Are they the top D in the league as far as points per game?
Who?
Dallas, are they?
No, they're outside the top 5. Warriors are still number 1. Warriors are like 101.6 or something. I'll pull it up.
Suns actually. Suns are actually number 1. Golden State's second.
Scoring defense. No. Phoenix is 6. Golden State 106.1. Cleveland is second, 102.2. Dallas is third, 103.3.
I was looking at defensive rating. My bad, not points.
Miami's 4th, Knicks 5, Phoenix 6, Boston 7, Philadelphia 8. Yeah, the Golden State's last 3 games, 95.7 given up. Cleveland last 3 games, 93 points given up average in their last 3 games. Both teams playing amazing. Golden State averaging 99 points at home given up this year, which is best in the league. But yeah, Dallas 3rd, so they moved up. But yeah, they're kind of, nobody's really talking about them just because they don't have a flashy offense. But if you're in the top 5 defensively, but at the same time, look at New York, the Knicks. The Knicks are the 5th best offense. Where are they? They're not even, they won't even be in the play-in right now. They're in the 11th spot because their offense is not even worth mentioning. Because you kind of see that cutoff looking at the plus minus to where Toronto is the last team in the East with a plus minus of 0.7. Once you get past that, then it's all the teams that are out. And it goes to show in the West how like that separation is so crazy. Portland, and then the Lakers and Clippers all have a minus differential, and they'd all be in the play-in right now.
Damn.
So it goes to show how bad the West is, where you can be a trash team and you're like Portland, 20 and 28, and they'd be in the play-in right now. 8 games under 500, and they'd have a chance to be in the playoffs. That's just unreal to me.
Yeah, and then you go over to the East, and you have to be above 500.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. That will wrap up today's NBA segments. Head over to our NHL talk where we highlight this year's front runners and who is eyeing up that number 1 pick.